All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am merely Bo. He is the great Z. How you living, buddy?
Hello.
Nice. Good to see you. Fall's here. It's
crisp in the air. Yes. We're
60s?
at Wednesday now, so we're allowed to start to build our optimism and joy. What do you got, Gibby?
Hello, Gibby. He clicked on. We heard you click on.
I know.
How are you?
Fine. I was letting him go. He was starting to finally wake up.
I thought you had. I thought you
Starting
had a pop
to wake up. We just started
Violence
the show.
right out of the
the
gates.
gates.
Oh my
Out of
gosh,
the
Out of the
gates.
gates, we've got violence.
Crazy. It's funny when people don't
He's
see
pushed
us.
the buttons today, and now he's going to get it all day.
What happened? Have you been? Is something?
I don't
happened
know.
behind
Yeah,
the
let's hear an
scenes?
airing of the grievances.
Is this
I
the
don't know.
trial of
No.
Segura?
Normally, I have an idea.
There was a question about some of the things that have been booked on the show today, and now I'm just kind of like, you know what? If
Oh.
you
He
want to
doesn't
dance
like
with
it.
the devil,
He
let's go.
He doesn't like it.
Oh my
He doesn't like
gosh! I did not see this coming.
it.
On
He
a
was
First
trying to
Friday.
remove.
He wants to besmirch Ben Baby.
I didn't besmirch Ben. That is factually incorrect. G-Man, get young Gabriel over here.
Boy, young
We need a
Gabriel.
witness.
Young Gabriel
Young
on the
Gabriel.
Gabriel's
over here.
helping
On the
Bo
witness
out
stand.
with a clip
Yeah.
that we needed.
Yeah, young Gabriel. Yeah, no,
Young
there he
Gabriel
is.
Flip is
There he
ready
is.
to go.
There he
Look
is.
at
He's
him.
right there. Look at him. He's ready to go. Young Gabriel.
Hello.
Young Gabriel. He just characterized what had happened earlier that apparently got him very unhappy as me besmirching Ben Baby. Did I besmirch Ben Baby?
You didn't besmirch him.
No. Duh. I know that.
There was no attack on Ben Baby. We love Ben Baby.
No, I'm just
a lot
great.
more than most people.
Yeah, Ben Baby's great.
Why do most people not? I'll be honest with you. On my bingo card for the first thing we'd be talking about, Ben Baby was not. Now he's going to be on at 4:30, and he's great. But I didn't have that on my bingo card of the first 5
I'm
minutes
saying
of the
we
show.
love him
we've already-
more than we love most other people.
Oh, I got
That's
you.
that's
I
my
got you.
characterization.
We've had
Been
a
a great many
fallacious
people.
allegation lobbied at me.
That
I'm
had
going
me
to come up
really
with a few more
nervous.
that I'm just going to make up as we go here.
Well, at least you admit it. At least you admit it.
Just make 'em up.
You admitted that you made it up. I pushed his butt. What have I done? Unbelievable.
So and we'll play the full.
Oh, look at him. He's checking out screens over there.
Oh,
He's coming
my.
in.
Look
at
it.
this.
The
A little bit of
dress
a
shirt look at the
a
it's
short
the
pant
stride.
with a sock. Yeah, look
It's
at
a
him.
stride. That's what you.
He's got his tea.
That's what
He's
you
good.
need.
Come on, it's
No
too
big
much.
deal. Too much.
Too much. Dave Lee's like, hey, no, I really need to talk to you.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We're trying to actually do business here
Amazing
while
if they
you're
were like
gallivanting.
in the middle of something. He's like, wait, the show started.
Yeah,
I got to make my walk.
I got to walk.
Follow me over here.
Now they're hiding behind.
Where's
the
my
door
rose
over there.
petals for me to walk on? Damn it.
My son works.
That would be the best part if that's what it could be.
Well, we'll get that. That'll happen at some point. Corporate Bo is going to make sure that happens at some point. That we
Yeah.
have someone throwing rose petals for him to walk on as he walks around. I think
Oh,
it'd be
that'd be
amazing
great.
to see for Swag. It is Pittsburgh week. It is here. The team is
Yeah.
out practicing. Started about 5 minutes ago on a crisp autumn day here in Northeast Ohio. The Cleveland Browns have signed quarterback Dom Jones to the active roster for the practice squad. In addition, the team has signed cornerback D. Williams to the practice squad and placed cornerback Amir Speed on practice squad injured list. So there you have it there. The headline here today was the first time that we've heard from Kevin on what happened yesterday with the trade to Joe Flacco. And we'll have those that full conversation with the media and Kevin coming up here shortly. After you heard it,
Yep.
what did your opinion change at all in terms of how it came about, why it came about, and why the deal was done?
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
The Bengals looked at their situation. They said, this is untenable. Who could we maybe go get? Hey, the Browns, put Dylan Gabriel in, so they're going in that direction. Let's call them. Browns, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. It wasn't Joe Flacco didn't say trade me. The Browns were not expecting it. I think people are reading way too much into, the surprise coming. Their Browns were just surprised that the Bengals called him. It's not like they were saying, oh, we're going to trade Joe Flacco now. Somebody called him. They didn't put anything out there. Bengals called and said, hey, we want Joe Flacco.
That bit of audio is being wildly misconstrued.
It is.
Not
I can't say it's
locally
surprising.
and also around the country. It's being widely misconstrued. We have isolated just the one thing that's getting a lot of attention. So let's go ahead and play it.
Decided if Shedeur is going to be your number 2 active quarterback for this weekend yet?
Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. They called us, and that's it happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and, of course, our team. But, with young players, I'm always thinking about last week making the change to Dylan. You have to think long and hard about that, because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on that.
All right. So I've heard a great many people.
Incredible first question for this press conference.
It was, but it's also
absolutely incredible.
But I think, and I've seen this nationally, I've seen this locally, it's being misconstrued as if Kevin is surprised by the deal that was made by Andrew Berry. Like, that's the way that this is being presented. I don't believe that's the case at all. I think what he's saying when he says like us surprised, the collective us. Every football decision in this building is made by Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, Paul DePodesta ownership. That's the way those things are done with football handling it. I don't think that there's, in the time that Andrew and Kevin have been here, I don't think there's a single major decision that's been made without both of them turning their key at the same time.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's how it works here.
Yeah,
so but it's being presented, though, like Andrew has undermined Kevin with the trade. You misread this.
Yeah, no, they're surprised.
Us
when they went to bed Monday night, they were not thinking about trading Joe Flacco. And then they get a call from the Bengals who say, actually, we want Joe Flacco. Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, here's what it's going to be. Okay. And now we make the trade. Yeah, Kevin would absolutely be involved in that. All football decisions are made by Andrew Berry and Kevin, and I would imagine Depot. I mean, ownership gets they get told what's going to happen, or if there's a situation where they have to lay out a bunch of money, like, hey, are you okay with this? But no, that's how they make the decisions. It's not like AB was like, hey, dude, I just traded Joe Flacco.
Right.
And Kevin's like, what?
Wait, what?
Huh?
No, not how it works. It's never worked that way here,
listen,
and that's not what he was saying.
We got made-up allegation Jones back here, and now we got other made-up allegations all around town.
Made-up narrative Joneses around town.
That's right.
They're everywhere. Yeah, it's just a misread. And I'll give everybody, I can understand it. Sometimes you hear things in a certain way and then you hear it back and it's in another way.
Sure.
Maybe because of how familiar I am and you are with how the process works around here.
Sure.
I didn't hear it the other way. I heard it the way I heard it.
Well,
the collective us. Yeah. We as a team were surprised.
We were surprised. Right.
That's how I read it.
We went to bed. We trained Joe Flacco was even on our mind. And then the Bengals said, we'd like to put this on your mind. And we said, oh, okay.
What do you think, as you've had 24 hours to kind of sit on this, from Dylan's perspective, how does this change the job for him, if at all?
It doesn't. I think when you make a switch like that from the veteran to the rookie, his tranche has begun. And I think for him, it's the same as it always was. Like, you don't want anybody else to have to play, and you do that with your play. I don't think it's changed it at all, honestly. I think it's, we're going to have to address head-on things. I mean, the fact that the first question in the press conference wasn't even about Joe Flacco or anything. Like, Kevin had to take a question that was, is Shedeur the backup, and actually say, here's what happened with the trade.
Yeah.
So there's fallout there, because whether or not Shedeur is the backup or Bailey Zappi is the backup, it's going to have massive social media ramifications and talking head media ramifications.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are national shows. It's not just here. It's not just because Mary Kay asked about Shedeur. It's nationally. And I think it was the ESPN with Mad Dog, and the headline was, what does this trade mean for Shedeur? I mean, the guy he's ratings, he's clicks, he's all of those things. And I think that the one part of it is that if he is the backup, I think it has the potential to make, and unfairly to Dylan, because I don't think he deserves this, but I think it has the potential to make our home crowd, or any crowd even potentially, no matter where we are, somewhat hostile to him should he perform less than brilliantly.
Which is what I mentioned yesterday, that he's been put in some really tough spots.
Yeah, from the get-go.
From the get-go, as a third-round quarterback, and the the intent, obviously, that draft weekend, as everybody around here has said, was to get one quarterback. They got him in the third round. Didn't envision drafting another one, and then Shedeur fell. And we've been over the reasons for that. It's been well documented. He fell, and all of a sudden you got a chance to get talent that tape-wise looks like first-round tape. You got a chance to get him, and so you do. You take that lottery ticket. But the from the Dillon part of that is really tricky because it's already hard enough to be a rookie quarterback in the league. But this was a guy that obviously the Browns liked more than Shedeur in the draft. They took him in the third, Shedeur in the fifth. He's done everything right, played pretty well in the opener, and to your point, the first question is what it is. And again, I don't blame Mary Kay at all because Shedeur is not a fifth-round pick in any sense of the word other than actually. That's it. Every other characteristic around him isn't that. I mean, this was him and his dad and Travis. They took college football by storm. They became one of the most interesting stories in the sport for 2 straight years. If you go back to the draft, that's all anybody talked about for 3 days. First, it wasn't Cam Ward on day one. It was where's Shedeur going to go on day one? Then it gets to day 2. Where's Shedeur going to go? Day 2, day 3. Where's he going to go? Like that. That's the whole story. So this is, I get it because people are interested in him because he is a celebrity in every sense of the word.
Well, yeah, people are. News is business.
Yes.
And he's good for business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that people need to understand and just like, first of all, Dillon leads our team in passing touchdowns, and the guys played a game and a handful of snaps beyond that. Just give him a shot, and if he's not good, then you're going to get other opportunities as the season goes on. But I think if you're a Browns fan, you should want him to do well. I think the other thing you have to understand is that Shedeur went where he went. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not a league where we're going to punish somebody or we don't like his dad, which how could you not like Deion? So we're going to just let a guy that we think could be a quarterback for our franchise just slide. I mean, it's just not how it works.
No.
And I think if anybody who was with us at the Combine, if you've been listening to the show, I was as big a Shedeur fan as there was I want to take him number 2.
Oh, dude.
Now,
I mean, how many shows do we do with talking about that?
Now, I didn't know what I didn't know. I just knew what I watched on tape. And I think, and we go back to it, everybody who watched him on tape thought he was a first or at the minimum, or the worst case scenario, like a second round, a day 2 guy, but a second round guy.
I think the lowest number was 38.
So something like that. And that's just based on that's based on the tape. Now, obviously there's a lot more that contributed to his fall, but you all know how much I liked him. If I thought he was like ready to go out there and rip it right now, I would be big on Shedeur. I don't think he is. I think there's a reason, and we talked about the development and the curve, the learning curve that he's going to have due to the fact that he wasn't asked to do a lot of things in college that you've got to do in the NFL. And I think that if he were the best quarterback on the Browns right now, he would be playing quarterback.
Yeah.
If he is the second best quarterback on the Browns right now, he will be the backup.
Yes.
There's really nothing more to it than that.
Yeah,
so we'll find out where they believe
stuff.
he is in his developmental stage when we find out. And I think it's kind of – I also – and maybe they got to go through a bunch of stuff. It's also hard when on some level you give an answer. Mm-hmm. Like if Kevin goes out there and gives the answer, Shedeur is the number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay? That sets off a whole nother train of things.
Yeah.
If he comes out and says, actually, Bailey Zappi is going to be the number 2 quarterback, we're going to elevate him from the practice squad. He'll be the number 2 quarterback. Shedeur will be still the emergency third. That sets off a whole other set of reaction. And then there's that when you don't give an answer, now it's going to be a question again and again until he talks Friday, but it's going to be a talking point between now and then. And the funny thing about that is the only person we're not talking about is Dillon Gabriel, who actually is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, which in the event that he remains healthy, he's the only quarterback who's going to play.
Yeah.
So so that goes back to your original point about it, that Dillon's been in a very difficult situation this whole time just because it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter how he, conducts himself. It doesn't really matter how he performs. And he even caught there were some very, from people that I wouldn't think would necessarily do that, there were some harsh rebukes of his performance last week. And I would just say he's starting his first game on not really a full week of practice against a Brian Flores defense.
That's right.
Which has been lights out. Did he go out and win you the game? No, but
he didn't lose it.
He did not lose, and I don't think he was asked. I don't think he was tasked with, dude, the game is on your shoulders. I think he was tasked with, if we can get in the red zone, let's get 7. He did that twice off of his arm, 2 passing touchdowns. Don't turn it over.
Nope.
Don't lose the game for us. Don't be the reason we lost this game. And he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't. Now, as a quarterback matures and things go on, you're going to ask him to do more than that, and to be like a true franchise guy is the reason. In many cases, it's the ultimate team game, but that's the reason you do win games. That's not where he's at. This guy was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
He made his first start, and I thought, hey, did a fine at counting himself. Do you have to get the ball down the field? Of course. But if we win that game, he did exactly what he wanted. All we needed to do with our good run game and our at number 1 defense is just don't lose the game for him, and we should win. And we should have won. We didn't, but he did that part.
Oh, yeah.
He did that part very well.
Yeah. No. I mean, he's going to have a long runway here to see what he can be.
Yes.
But I think the thing with Gabriel that I learned week 1, being thrown into the fire in a way that you just described, is none of this is going to be too big for him. And his floor is pretty high. It's a pretty high floor.
Yes.
Because he's ultra smart.
Yeah.
The ball is out quick. He's crazy accurate. I've talked to college folks who scouted him last year and loved him. Loved him on tape. Thought he was a very difficult player to prepare for. Thought the ball was out quick, accurately in the right spot. Thought he was a little friskier with his feet than people give him credit for. And thought before the game, I think he's going to play well in London. I said, well, I think he will too. I think he'll play well, and I think he did.
I think, as we said it all along, when he was drafted, if he ends up being a long-term backup or having one of those careers where you're like a Case Keenum, that's a really good 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
If he ends up being more than that, that's a home run. That's a lottery ticket. So that's kind of where you're at with him, and now we're going to see, what can he be? What will Dillon Gabriel become? I thought the first thing was good. He's going to operate the offense. Do you have to take steps beyond that to be a quarterback of consequence in this league? Of course. And I think if you read all the reporting about, for everybody who wants to know, well, when Shedeur going to play? For me and Rappaport to Mary Kay, who have commented on it, if he's not the backup, I don't even know that it necessarily means that he is not the second most talented quarterback here. I think he is either the most talented or second most talented, but there's so much more that goes into playing the position. I think it's more of, because all the reporting has been they would want him to get like full weeks of work, all of that. As the backup, you don't get that. You're not going to get any reps. So, like, I think when the time comes, or if the time ever comes, and Dillon Gabriel's job is to make sure the time never comes, right, by his play. But if that time ever comes, my guess is you're going to want to give him that long runway and give him all the reps and have a game plan that he is very comfortable with. Because we saw when he was kind of comfortable and he got some of that stuff in Carolina, he looked very good. Now, that's preseason, but he looked good there. Then when we were more kind of in like more of a regular season mode before the Rams, that did not look good. That was not good.
Right.
So I think that's part of it as well, that I think people are going to jump to, I'm going to get out my jump to conclusions, Matt, and jump to a conclusion.
It's a nice job out of you.
Thank you. I hope some of you got that. I think
it's
idea. More that. It is a great idea.
It's a great idea.
It's a fantastic idea.
All right. Good job out of you. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. Rumpke Waste and Recycling, the recycling leader, invests over $100 million to build North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Ohio. Visit rumpke.com to learn more about tours and how this facility helped grow our circular economy. Coming up next, we meet the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Time to head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here is Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski.
All right, great challenge.
Down.
Road and, division opponent. Excited about these opportunities, these rivalry games when you're going against division opponents. Obviously, they're atop the division right now, playing really good football. I think they're +7 turnover margin, doing a nice job taking it away. They're playing very well on the offensive side, and then they always play great on special teams. So really good players, coaches I have a ton of respect for. So it's division football, it's AFC North. We know what to expect. But with that, I'll take any questions.
Decided if Shedeur is going to be your number 2 active quarterback for this weekend yet?
Well, first I'd tell you is the Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming. They called us, and it happened very fast and happened not too long ago. So still working through all roster type of things. I always have to be mindful of our players and our players' development, and I want to make sure that I'm always doing what's best for our players and of course our team. But with young players, I'm always thinking about last week making the change to Dylan. You have to think long and hard about that, because these are young players that you're so invested in their development. So I'll let the week play out and make a decision later on that.
So like Monday afternoon, you didn't plan on trading Joe Flacco?
No.
Why did it happen though? Why didn't you trade him?
Well, obviously AB makes those decisions. I trust AB. We talk about every decision we make. They wanted Joe. They made the phone call. Obviously, it gives Joe an opportunity to go play again. But I trust in our decisions.
Explain to the fans, all the training camp reps devoted to Flacco and Pickett. Why wasn't it a waste of time, as it turns out? It's October and neither is here.
Well, there's a lot of unknowns in football and in sports. You can't always predict injuries. You can't predict trades, those type of things. So that's sports.
Joe, do you feel like there's a leadership void in that young room that you have a quarterback?
Yeah, it's a young room, but I believe in those guys, that they're all working very hard. Obviously, Bailey's the elder statesman right now, but with Deshaun's in there, can provide great insight to the young guys, and I trust in Coach Musgrave, Coach Reese, those type of things.
Making that deal. Mm-hmm. What's the concern level that you're trading Joe to a division rival that needs to start a quarterback?
Yeah, I think we talked through all those things. I would let Andrew speak to that. I don't want to speak for him, but I trust in his decisions.
Were you disappointed with the way it ended for Flacco?
Joe and I had a lot of conversations. I'll keep those private. Obviously, he's somebody that we in this building think very highly of, think highly of the person, think highly of the player. Disappointed in where we are, as a team, of course, but hopeful for him. But really, our focus turns into what's in front of us, which is Steeler Week.
Okay, so now you go to Pittsburgh with 2 quarterbacks who've never won a game. Do you think this could be a case of ignorance is bliss? They go there not knowing the history of this team living in Pittsburgh.
Thanks, Tony. Honestly, it's the game of football. It's the past doesn't really matter. What's in front of you matters.
Everyone, when we ask you about having so many rookies, but what are the challenges, whether it's during the week or game day, from having so many young guys that you're counting on?
Yeah, the thing I would tell you, Scott, is we're counting on a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys are playing, but they're not playing like rookies. These guys are very mature. They work very hard. So I know what it might say on the roster in terms of experience for them, but we trust them. They've put in the work, and a lot of these guys are playing good football, but they're going to continue to get better. I expect all these guys to continue to get better.
When you're looking at the number 2, how do you balance short term versus long term in terms of what you're looking for when whether it's putting Shedeur there or bringing Bailey up or whatever?
I think it's really important to stay in the short term. When you're making these type of decisions or any decision for your team, what's most important is this week. Obviously, we have long term development plans for all of our players at every position, but really this week is what's most important.
Since coming back, obviously he's done a great job on the field. Just what have you seen from him? And, at what point did you feel comfortable really being able to lean into him offensively?
Yeah, I think, again, going back to the previous point, these young players will just get better and better. And I think Q's a great example of a guy that, we've tried to not put too much on his plate in that first game or the second game, but slowly bring him along. And I think every step of the way he's answered the bell. He's got a great demeanor on the field. He's got a great demeanor around this building in terms of his intensity to this football team. And he's a guy that, again, we're counting on. He's a big piece of our system.
We're in the division a long time with Aaron Rodgers. What do you make of his game right now?
Yeah, outstanding football player. Might be the best thrower of the football I've ever seen, just from the arm talent, the skill that he has. I have a ton of respect for what he's done in his career. Playing at a high level right now, extremely accurate, has a good feel for what they're doing, allows his receivers, tight ends, running backs to get good yards after the catch. He's playing at a very high level.
All right, there you go. That was from the podium presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Time to meet the Steelers. It's presented by Vivid Seats, official fan experience partner of your Cleveland Browns. Want to attend the next Browns home game on October 19th in style? Head to vividseats.com/Browns and purchase your one-of-a-kind package today. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-1 on the season. They are atop the AFC North. Their head coach is Mike Tomlin. He is in his 19th year in the National Football League with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the longest tenured coach in the NFL. His record is a robust 186, 108, and 2. The series record, Pittsburgh leads 82-64-1. Last time out, Pittsburgh won 27-14 in Pittsburgh in December of last year. Last time they played the same team we played. The last time we played, theirs was a win in Dublin against the Vikings, 24-21. They are coming off the bye. Their offense is ranked 29th overall, 31st in rushing, 27th in passing. Their defense is 28th overall, 19th in rushing, 30th in passing. Their turnover differential, and here's where you're saying, well, Bo, how are they 3-1? Here's how. They are ±7, which is second best in the NFL. They are 3-1 despite statistically not being a marvel at all. For more on the Pittsburgh Steelers, we turn it over to Dr. Z.
Yeah, they've been outgained in every single game this year. Every single game they have been outgained. That includes the Jets in week 1. That includes the Seahawks in week 2 where they lost. That includes the Patriots in week 3 where there were 5 turnovers by the Patriots, 2 inside the opponent's 2-yard line. And that includes last week against the Minnesota Vikings, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, against the Minnesota Vikings in Ireland. So they've been outgained every game. There's not a single team in this division that has a positive point differential. The Steelers are -2. The Bengals are -71. Ravens -36. Browns -50. In fact, this is crazy. This is the worst combined division point differential weeks 1 through 5 since the year 2002, which is not great.
No, I mean,
not
Burrow,
great.
Lamar injuries.
Here are the worst combined point differentials by division in the league this year. AFC North -159.
Man.
NFC South -67. AFC East -19. AFC West -5. And I'm not a mathematician, but I'll pretend to be one real quickly. 67 plus 19 is 86, plus 5 is 91. So the rest of the losing divisions, there are divisions that have winning differentials. The rest of the losing divisions add up to just 91.
Yeah.
And this division is 159. So they are not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. That just goes back to, man, why it's such a bummer we could not execute and finish that game off against the Vikings, because then now you have a chance to go in there and almost like catapult yourself to the top of this division.
Yeah.
Cincinnati with Joe Flacco, they got Green Bay this week, and Flacco's going to start. That is still going to be a tough matchup for them. The Ravens have the Rams without Lamar Jackson. They're probably going to lose. So you had a chance, really, if you could have gotten that win in Minnesota, to come in here with some momentum. Then you have the Dolphins next week, and now you still look. You're at 1-4. You win this one, you have a chance. The Dolphins, you'll be favored. That'll be one of the rare games the Browns are favored. You'll have a chance to get to 3-4, and that'll kind of could put you in the mix. Steelers go us, Cincinnati. Then they have a tough stretch: Green Bay, Indianapolis, and the Chargers. So we'll see how it plays out. But no, this team they're not great. Kenneth Gainwell leads the team in rushing with 154 yards in 4 games, averaging 4.4 yards carry. He had a career game last week, 134 total yards, 2 touchdowns with Jaylen Warren out. Warren's averaging just 3.1 yards a carry, and as a running back is their second leading receiver. They brought in Jonnu Smith, who was a Pro Bowler last year.
Yeah, and Arthur Smith, very familiar with him.
Brought him to Atlanta with him.
Yeah.
He was a Pro Bowler last year. He had 88 catches for 884 yards and 8 touchdowns. Even in that season with Arthur Smith, 50 for 582 and 3. He's got 14 catches for 71 yards. He's averaging 5.1 yards a catch, which is nuts. Part of that is because Aaron Rodgers is getting the ball out so quickly. Aaron Rodgers is getting the ball out in under 2.5 seconds. Got one of the shortest time to throws in the league, and his air yards per attempt, 7.5 air yards per attempt. So everything is kind of close to the line of scrimmage, not really pushing the ball down the field. But, it's wild. You look at their tight end room. Jonnu Smith played 13 reps last game, 13 snaps. Pat Freiermuth was a big part of what they used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got at least one 700-yard season under his belt. Yeah, he had 732 yards in 2022. Last year had 65 catches for 653 and 7 touchdowns. He's got 7 catches on 10 targets for 65 yards. So it's very odd. I mean, their receivers, Calvin Austin's third on the team. He's got 10 catches for 139 yards. Jeez. DK Metcalf is the leading receiver, 22 targets, 15 catches, 261 and 3 touchdowns. He scored in 3 of the 4 games, but last week were 126 of his 261. So the first 3 games were 140, so under 50 yards a game. Just not prolific. Aaron Rodgers isn't even averaging 200 yards passing per game. He's at 786 yards in 4 starts. Doesn't have a single game with 250 yards passing, but he does have the 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a rating of 103 right at his career mark, which is an incredible 102.6. I mean, his career numbers are staggering. 63,000 yards, 65% completions, 511 touchdowns to 119 picks. I mean, just bonkers. Their line has been very good. Their line has only given up 30 pressures all season. So they've been very good up front. Broderick Jones, the left tackle, their first-round pick in 23 is a weak link. He's given up 4 sacks and 10 pressures. Really, the tackles have given up 4 sacks, 18 pressures. The interior of the line, 2 sacks, 12 pressures. So you got to get them off the edges. But, yeah, there's nothing dangerous about them right now on offense with the exception of DK Metcalf. Defensively, that's where a lot of the talent is. They've got up front, Cam Hayward. Keanu Benton was a second-rounder. Derek Harmon, their first-rounders, now played in 2 games. Hayward's got a sack. Keanu Benton's got a career-high 1.5. Harmon's got a sack. Second level, they've got great linebackers. Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, both on pace for well over 100 tackles this season. Queen has been a Pro Bowler twice. T.J. Watt is a 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, Defensive Player of the Year. He leads the team with 3 sacks. He's a stud. He's always going to be good. And all 3 have come in the last 2 games. He had a stretch dating back to the year before, 6 straight games without a sack. He has gotten 3 in his last 2. Nick Herbig out of Wisconsin has been playing very well for them. He's second on the team with 2.5 sacks, leads the team with 14 pressures. He's got crazy stats, 11 career sacks, 7 forced fumbles. T.J. Watt's 34 forced fumbles are the most among any active player right now. 34 forced fumbles on 111 sacks. Alex Highsmith has been out of late. They hope that he can be back, but he's a guy who obviously can get to the quarterback in 2022. Had 14.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. Secondary is kind of a new look secondary. They brought in Darius Slay. These guys are getting torched. Darius Slay, 75% completions, 137 rating and coverage this year. Deshaun Elliott's playing well, the safety, and he's a second game back. Jalen Ramsey's a 7-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, but he's given up 70% completions and 92 rating. Juan Thornhill might surprise people to learn that he's giving up 89% completions and 155.8 rating and coverage. So the guys have been playing well. Brandon Eccles has played well. James Pierre has played well for them as well at corner so far. But some familiar faces from Thornhill. Jabril Peppers is there. Daniel Aquale is there, who was a defensive tackle that spent some time with the Browns. So it's who you know. This is a team that's going to come out and they're going to play single high. They're going to play man and cover 3 like we do. Basically, they play that. Basically 2/3 of the time it's going to be man 1 or cover 3, and they're going to challenge you. Now they've got 12 busted coverages. They can be busty. Second most in the NFL, and hopefully the Browns get some of those and take advantage. But we've struggled as an offense against man.
Yeah.
So I would get ready for a heavy dose of it. That's, I think, what you're going to see is a heavy dose of man in this one, and you've got to be ready to deal with it.
Should we do a guess the stats with the G-Man? He's usually pretty good at
He's
guessing
very
the
good.
stats.
Let's do it. I'd like to.
Hey, G-Man, can you name the list of NFL quarterbacks who have more MVPs than Aaron Rodgers?
Joe Montana's got to be one of them. So he has 4.
That's right.
Tom Brady does not.
Neither does Joe.
Oh.
I didn't think Joe.
Are there any? There's 1.
Mm-hmm.
The guy we're playing Sunday.
That's the question.
No, he's the one.
Yeah.
He's the one we're comparing to.
Yeah.
Gibby's still on London time.
Gibby's thinking about nachos.
Can I get an era?
He's got nachos on
Manning.
the brain. Peyton Manning. It has to
Peyton
be
Manning.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning is
only
the only quarterback in NFL history that has more MVPs than Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has 4. Manning has 5. That's the list. 4 most valuable players at quarterback. When you were doing that stuff with like his statistical accumulation, it's crazy because it's really like because of some of the off-field stuff the last 4 or 5 years, it's almost like people sometimes forget what he was. And I think the same kind of happens with Manning, which is why I wanted to have that with G-Man, because if you weren't of a certain age at that time and you didn't realize who Manning was, you see him in all the ads and you see ManningCast or whatever and you think, well, was this guy ever a serious player? Yeah, he's the most decorated regular season quarterback in the history of the game.
Yes.
He has more All-Pros, and Rodgers was right there. He was just a rung below with the 4 MVPs. He won back-to-back MVPs in 20 and 21, guys.
Yeah.
This wasn't like all from 2012. He won 1 in 11, won 1 in 14, won 1 in 20, and won 1 in 2021. So he is a cruise-in first ballot gold jacket, full approval. It's like the guy from Indy who had the whole presentation for Peyton Manning and just said it's Peyton Manning and he sat down.
That's it.
That's what you do. Whoever presents Aaron Rodgers, it's Aaron Rodgers and you sit down.
I think the one thing that is on Rodgers that takes away from it also a little bit is that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think I'm wrong. He's only played in 1 Super Bowl.
Doesn't he have 2?
No,
Didn't he lose one to? Oh no, he beat Pittsburgh.
He beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, well, they lost those NFC Championship games to San Francisco all the time when they'd be in the cold.
In 2010.
That's it.
That's the last one. Like to only get 1 Super Bowl,
Only get in one.
only get in one is
It's crazy.
That's a little bit of the demerit on him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Now in 2016, I got to look up this 2016 playoffs here. 2016. Let's see. Because that year he is phenomenal. He loses to Atlanta in the
Matt Ryan
in the championship game, and he throws for 287 with 3 touchdowns. They smoke the Giants. He throws for 362, 4 touchdowns. Then they beat Dallas 34-31. He throws for 355 and 2 touchdowns. And then that game he throws for 287 and 3 touchdowns, and they lose. Yeah, they lose 44-21 to Matt Ryan. So I mean, part of it is like
that's part of it. Then
he's only gotten 1 Super Bowl.
It's crazy. I mean, we kept looking at like McCarthy and all of it, and like, why haven't they won more?
And I know it's not you can only play who's put in front of you, but he beat, and I'm pretty sure I have this right, a Jay Cutler led Bears team in that NFC Championship game, in a game in which Jay Cutler got knocked out, he got hurt, and he beat Caleb Haney.
There you go.
To go to the Super Bowl.
And then they beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And they won that game 21-14.
Yeah.
Caleb Haney.
Yeah. I think that game was in Chicago.
It was in Chicago.
Yeah,
I remember watching
that one.
I was
Yeah,
at
the turf
I was with
coming up,
I
it
was with
frozen.
S at Victor Angolia's house. And he would say that guy's name to the tune of the Mickey Mouse song, VICTORENGOGLIA.
Speaking of S, he's going to like the next segment, College Football. Nate, coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today. Get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Time for the segment that continues to sweep the nation. 4 Downs with your Uncle Bo and college football Nate. Hello, Gibby.
Hi, gentlemen.
How are you?
Fine. Working
Nice.
through some technical things, but
Oh, I don't like that.
we're figuring it out. Not quite sure what's going on.
Been a day.
Nah, not yet.
It's almost over.
Plenty of hours to go, actually. We have a preview show
It's the
tonight.
first Friday.
Fancy show tomorrow. It's first Friday. I will act accordingly.
Yeah, have yourself a cocktail. Enjoy
Absolutely. Maybe
Enjoy
4.
broke out the apple cider old fashioned. I think I'm going to break out tonight to
Oh,
fit the
baby.
season. So we'll do that.
Nice.
Little taste, keep you warm late at night.
Nice. Enough
I like
from the
it.
clowns fired up. Love that guy.
Your burner's really crushing it today.
I haven't heard from yours yet.
Your burners
Your
have
boys,
given up.
where are
dude.
your burners?
Your burners have
We're
given
busy
up.
today. We're
Oh,
doing
they're-
things.
Our guys are busy.
Remember.
Your burners have given up.
Our burners are busy.
They've thrown in the towel.
All right, Carm, hit it.
First down.
Ohio State is the best team in the Big Ten. We can all agree on that. Who are the top 4 in the Big Ten? Can you give me number 2, 3, and 4, college football, Nate?
By the way, Ohio State's the best team in the country. I've been saying it really, if you just were hanging out here for a while, I told you Penn State was going to lose last week because they're
We did.
fraudsters. All right, the best teams are number 1, Ohio State.
Yep.
And then second may as well be 8th, but we'll play along. Number 2, I'm going to say is Oregon.
I like it.
Now it's going to get dicey.
One thing to
Am I gonna? Do I
Well,
like the Trojans at all? Are they any good?
I would just college football is omniscient. College football Nate's omniscient. The one thing that I think when you think about that third spot is you have to think about Zoggs and you think about people that he was fond of and that he would be fond of a certain place that is playing really good football in the league, who had a coach
This is good.
that Zoggs liked a lot.
The General Robert Montgomery Knight. Indiana. Let's go. Number 3 for me. That's Indiana's going to be 3rd.
Lead him to water.
I'm trying.
Lead him to
Yeah,
water.
you did a good job there.
Trying.
Big time.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, and then we get one more. Let me just dive in this a little bit more.
Are they for real?
Well, for what? We're going to find out. I think they are.
And then I'm going to
They
go
play
number
Oregon.
4. I'm going to stay with Michigan.
I was just going to say S.
So Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, Michigan. That's my top 4.
Exciting.
This weekend's it's an interesting one. You
Is
can't look
USC?
past them.
USC's not
The
that far
Fighting
away, are
Illini.
they?
Fighting Illini host Ohio State at noon.
Yeah.
I've been there for one of those noon games. It's weird things happen in Champaign.
Yeah,
it's a basketball school.
I've
but
only ever been there. When I go there, it's pure hell because it's always been in November and it's gray and windy
about right.
and cold and awful. Just awful. I can't wait to get out. But everybody who I know who's been an alumnus loves it. So that'll be interesting. I do think the Big Ten is widely – I got to make sure I'm not stepping on something – widely undervalued in the top 25. There's like 9 or 10 SEC teams ranked. For whatever reason, USC and Washington aren't ranked. They both deserve to be ranked.
Yeah.
But I think you had the right 4. And Michigan – Buckeye fans aren't going to want to hear this, but Michigan is going to be – they're formidable now with the run game, and Underwood's coming along, and it's only going to get more so.
Why has Wisconsin become a cesspool?
It's a long talk.
It's
but
sad.
It is. Yeah. Luke really
makes you sad.
The whole thing really blew up.
Yeah.
Blew up.
I was thinking about putting that in for next week because Ohio State plays Wisconsin next week because it's amazing. At one point, I was like, next to Michigan, Wisconsin's the rival for Ohio State.
Well,
because Wisconsin could beat Ohio State.
It really wasn't Michigan even.
At the time.
Wisconsin was a much
Yeah.
bigger threat to Ohio State
Absolutely.
in the late 2000s to early 2010s. Much bigger threat. And I think they were the second best team in the conference for a while. So, yeah, it's been sad.
Next.
Second down.
Is Penn State's loss to UCLA more damaging than Michigan's infamous loss to Appalachian State in 2007?
So, yes, because I think this one puts a nail in a coffin that is already chock full of nails on James Franklin because he's not a real coach. He's not a big game coach. And at some point, they have to decide, what do we want to be? Do we want to be this very average, mediocre
Do you
program.
want to be Iowa?
Or
do you want to win 9 or 10 games
Yeah.
a year?
That's what they are, yeah.
That's what. Or do you want to like be what you purport to be? And so I think it's more damaging. The Michigan one was embarrassing, but it was such a fluke. It was just to me. This is the final straw.
So they got to write a $56 million check to get rid of Franklin. Then they got to hire the next guy with $75 million, all the while pay for a roster and a stadium renovation. So I don't think Penn State can do anything unless somebody, Keegan-Michael Key writes a check for $200 million to make it all go away. Like, that's what it would take. So I think they're kind of stuck with them. Because of the playoff, they're actually not out of it. If they go 10-2, they beat Ohio State. I'm not saying they will, but they're not totally out of it yet because of a 12-team playoff. Here's the other thing about the Michigan thing. That loss was the catalyst to the end of Lloyd Carr, which then became Rich Rodriguez. But it started there. It ended with the loss to Ohio State in the Ohio State-Michigan game, and then it went to Rich Rodriguez after. So that
was
one
not necessarily
not
a great
really set
either.
the program back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, both are damaging, though.
I think, listen.
Oh, hold on.
Penn State, number one, they're not getting in the playoff. Number two, if they got into the playoff, that would be like sending Bootsy's team into the playoff. That's what the chance they have of winning.
I'm going to tell you this. I think USC gets in before Penn State. USC is frisky.
Penn State's not beating Ohio State, so they're going to have 3 losses, and it's irrelevant. But I do think they could go 9-3, and it's a long season. Like, go look at the SEC teams and who they all play. There's going to be a bunch of them at 9-3. Like, in a year where I think Ohio State has a chance to be perfect, where Oregon's going to be 11-1, and there's some other teams like that, there are going to be a glut of teams at 9-3 that get in. A ton of them. So it's just way more wide open than it's been.
All right, next.
3rd down.
Through 5 games, grade the job Bill Belichick has done at North Carolina.
Are we doing letter grades?
Sure.
All right. E, embarrassment. It's an absolute disgrace, and the only person who I think has done a worse job than Bill Belichick is Mike Lombardi, who should be that general manager performance, embarrassing. They are a disgrace. They've been beaten when they played real teams. They lost by 34 to TCU. They lost by 25 to UCF, and they lost by 28 to Clemson, who's not very good.
Go look at the scoring drive chart of the first 4 touchdown drives for Clemson. 1 for 75. It's like 2 for 46, 3 for 57, 6 for 60. It was 28-0 in 4 drives.
They've beaten
in the first quarter. It was 28-0.
Charlotte and Richmond.
Yeah,
that's it.
Here's the thing that makes this, I think, for people who talk so much about college football like I do, the arrogance that Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick had taking over that job. We're going to be the 33rd NFL team.
The 33rd.
Dude, there's 133rd NFL teams. When I got to Tallahassee in 2001, that's what they were doing. That's 2001. Ohio State has an infrastructure that mirrors this and has since the end of Tressel, and then when Urban got there, it went nuts. That's a dozen years plus.
Brother,
and they thought they were reinventing the wheel.
Brother, they're not
the
even...
guy who is the general manager. He has no relationship with high school coaches, and he thought he was going to go pull kids to Carolina? What are you talking about?
They're not even...
Delusional.
They're not even the 33rd college team.
I got one for you. You want a hot take?
88th out of 136.
They're even worse than that.
Yes.
This is worse than Urban in the NFL. It's on that level.
Well, you've got the
drama
part of it.
If you take the off-field stuff from Urban out, it's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. What are the next steps? They're going to fire him.
They got to fire
eventually.
him and find a buyout is what they got to do.
Gosh, imagine being that. You're like, how could this go bad? It's
Why
Bill
would you
Belichick.
think that it would go good?
Because
he's a 73-year-old man who has no point of reference in the sport.
No, right. It's not the same sport. It's not the same sport.
Next.
4th down.
By the way, as a Duke fan, anytime North Carolina can fail at anything, this is just colossal excitement and happiness for me. I love every part of it. How many of Texas's issues, what percentage of Texas's issues are on Arch Manning versus the rest of the team?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised by what I have seen and what appears to be the talent drop-off for a program with that type of financial backing and just prominence from last year to this year. So I do think Arch Manning has not been what people assumed he would be just because his last name was Manning. But the team around him is, compared to like last year's team, would smoke this team.
Yeah, they can't block it, so he has no protection. They can't run it, so they can't really have any play action, which doesn't make sense because they have 5-star kids at running back. It makes no sense. They don't have really anybody on the outside who's scary. Their number one defensive player, a kid named Colin Simmons, has no sacks on the year, and he was a guy people project as a top 10 pick. So they've got a litany of problems, and he's also struggling mightily, in part because of those litany of those problems, and in part because just mechanically he's in a really weird place right now. He does not look physically like the kid who threw last year and looked very natural slinging it. He doesn't look like that at all. It looks like when you watch him play now, it's almost like he can't wait to tuck it and run. Like he can't wait to just get out of the pocket and go.
Yeah.
And that's never a way to be successful.
That's not the Manning way.
No.
Bonus time. Game of the
kinda like how
century
Archie was.
Saturday. 0-5 UMass versus 1-4 Kent State in what ESPN writer Ryan McGee dubbed Saturday's pillow fight of the week, of the year, of the century Mega Bowl. Who you got?
I once saw Flight of the Conchords at Kent State. Kent State wins.
There's a man sitting in that room who is an alumnus of Kent State, and I'll be damned if I'm going to stand for besmirching of his university on this fine show. Give me the Flashes by a billion.
Yes, same.
By
the way,
a billion. Good uniforms, too. Let's go.
And I'll say this. Kent State all day long, because you shouldn't be allowed to be in a conference and be a football-only school.
Oh, are they in one of those?
Oh, yeah. We welcomed in as a football. Hey, get your ass in here as a basketball
Come all
school.
in.
Let's go.
What's keeping UMass out? They're not UConn.
Exactly.
Marcus Camby's a long time ago, man.
Hope Kent State boat races them.
It's been a minute. All right, good job. There you go. 4 downs. College Football Nate and your Uncle Bo. Christian Jones sits down with Z coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Very happy to be joined now for the first time by Browns tight end coach Christian Jones. Christian, first of all, this is the first time we've gotten to talk, so welcome to Cleveland.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So for people who may not know your background, let's go back 2019. You're a member of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
Who else was a member of the Minnesota Vikings at that time but our head coach, Kevin Stefanski? Did you know when he departed after that season that someday you guys were going to work together again?
Not at all. I had accepted that we were just two ships passing in the night. I got the opportunity to work with him, and honestly, I was very thankful to have the opportunity to be in the NFL. I thought I'd be a college coach my whole career.
Okay.
And getting to see that level of football, work with Gary Kubiak, who's somebody I grew up watching. I'm from Houston, so I was a big Texans fan. So
Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson,
all of that.
Oh yeah,
the Cortland Finnegan fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Poster on my wall. So it was great and just really encouraging to see that I can kind of hang at that level of football. So I was just really thankful for the opportunity.
So you had that opportunity there. You worked with wide receivers. Then you go to the Giants, work with quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So 3 years in Minnesota, 3 years there. Now your 7th season in the NFL, so certainly you've made a career out of this. How did we get to this point? How did you get a call? Did they say, hey, are you interested in coming in? How did we get to you being sitting here right now?
It was a simple, they told the team, they reached out to me, and they went through the proper channels to reach out to me, and I got the opportunity, and I took it. I thought, there's no better opportunity to learn than doing it, and you can always sit on the sidelines and say, man, I think I'd be good, and until you take that leap, you'll never know. So it's all about taking a risk, showing what I can do, and again, I'm thankful for another opportunity from Kevin.
So is this your first time with your own room?
Yes, it is.
So that's very cool. And Kevin's story. I mean, Kevin worked with every single part of the offense, and you're starting to build that resume now as well, from receivers to quarterbacks. And then they say tight ends is the one room where you're in everything. You're a part of the run game. You're a part of the pass game.
As I've learned. It's been great. I mean, the learning I've had since I've stepped in this building has been exponential. It has changed me in so many ways, from dealing with the players. Dave's an awesome guy to work with, manage, help out during the season. Harold's been great to work with. We got Blake Whiteheart in the room, had Brendan Bates and Sal Cannella, and they've all been awesome. I really appreciate each one of them for helping me learn something new each day. All of them teach me something each day, so it's been great to learn from them.
All right, so you get this opportunity, you come here, like you said, you're liking working with the room. What has it been like to see your guys now through 5 games? Harold's leading the team in receptions. He's 3rd in yards. David is 2nd in receptions, 2nd in yards. A very productive part of what we're doing here, and probably ties in a little bit to what you saw earlier in your career in Minnesota.
I think it's a testament to the guys and how they came in and worked and how they've been accepting of the message from Tommy, from Kevin. It's from the top down. Kevin wanted a certain ideal from the team. You want a certain identity, and they fully embraced it. I'm just there to deliver the message and motivate them and encourage them to chase that standard that we've been setting. So it's a testament to them. They've worked hard. They've done the jobs that we've asked them to do, and I can't be anything but proud of them for that. Now, it's a long season.
It's a long season, but it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a great start.
This is a very good start. You got a Pro Bowler, obviously, and then you got a guy coming in his rookie year, and you mentioned Blake as well in there, but those are the two kind of main guys. Did you know coming into the season, or when you first came here and took the job, that we were going to be so 12 personnel heavy, that you weren't going to have to just get one guy ready every week? 2 of them are going to be out there the majority of the time.
Yeah, I got my mind right on that immediately. I went back and watched the film, saw how they were in 21 all the way up to this year. I knew I'd have at least more than one guy in there. So the adjustments we've been making as the years have gone on have been a fun adjustment for me and having to learn and take on more of a role, but it's been something I've been ready for.
How interesting is it working with, and you've worked with obviously some elite players, certainly when you're with the receivers in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, and didn't need to see him do so much in London, but nonetheless, that's what the great ones do. To have a guy like David, who's been a Pro Bowler, who is very much, been in this league a long time now, drafted back in 2017, and then having Harold come in from the area, kind of unheralded coming out of high school, and now all of a sudden finds himself as one of the more productive young tight ends in the game.
Dave has been fun to work with in the sense that he brings a lot of energy, a lot of joy to the building, and
is it hard to corral at times?
No, I mean, you jingle the keys sometimes, just keep his attention locked in. But I mean, Kev, the resources here have been awesome, and that's a credit to the ownership here. And we have a walkthrough room that we can get guys on turf; they can feel the grass. It's a different environment for them to have to learn from.
Yeah,
and that's something that's been very beneficial for him. And with Harold, coming in, he's a rookie trying to get adjusted to the room. Dave's really good at getting guys to come out of their shell and be themselves in the room. So it's just been great to see him grow into, more of a vocal player, helping guys out on the field, being locked in. Like, Harold's gotten better every week.
Yeah.
And that's something that you see from him when he first got here. So it's been great to see Dave encourage him and help him grow, and Harold just embrace his role. And I mean, he's been getting used more than most people I've seen in the league, and he's embraced that a lot, and it's been really impressive to see. I'm very proud.
Well, I think we all knew if you watched his tape that he was going to come in here, he was going to be able to run routes and catch the football. You don't know about blocking. He wasn't asked to block there, not taking their best player and asking him to block at Bowling Green. But, you talk to any of the guys on the offensive line, he is willing. He gets in there in the mix. So that probably is the biggest adjustment, and I'm sure that's something you're very proud of for him to be able to embrace that, because it's blocking defensive ends in the NFL is not easy.
No, it's not.
Especially if you were basically a wide receiver in college, which he was.
Mm-hmm. And he's got that mindset. He played safety when he was in high school, too, so he's got that mindset. And I'll tell you what, when he gets out in the field, man, he locks in. He does what he's asked. He wants to help the team win. And, again, I'm just happy to see him go out there and do his thing, man. All I can do is help him understand the plays, understand his role in the offense. He's got to go out there and do it, and he does it. And that's very encouraging.
All right, so in London, we get down there. You hear the play call, I'm sure, through the headset, and you probably have a pretty good idea that maybe this is going to be Harold's first touchdown in the league. Then it happens. How excited were you for that?
I mean, it felt amazing. And, again, it's for him. The things he's been through to score where he did in London like he did, it's nothing but great things for him, and it's going to be a lot more in his future.
And then you come back, and the next touchdown is your other tight end, David Njoku. How about that? And that was, that was a great, when I watched that, we do a little play breakdown, and that was the play that we broke down. When he gets into Byron Murphy and creates that space and had won the route at that point, then you're just wondering, will the quarterback get back to it quick enough? And he does, puts it on there, and he makes a great contested catch. That was just perfect route, took advantage of his size, and then secured a great catch in the middle of 3 guys.
And I'll say this, there was questions when we were in the offseason of, how do you, asking about quarterbacks and who's playing. And the one thing that we want to do is focus on our job and be good for whoever's in the game. And I think that's a testament to Dave and Harold. Like, whoever's in the game, make sure you're doing your job the right way. Make sure you're executing your job the way you're supposed to, and the ball will find you. And I'm happy for Dave that he got that moment to score the touchdown.
Was your time in New York maybe helpful for that? Because in Minnesota, you had pretty good stability, I would imagine. I can't remember if Kurt missed some time maybe in 21, but it was pretty much Kirk Cousins' night. Yeah. And then, of course, in New York, in your room, there were a lot of people playing quarterback for you there. So has that kind of helped your mindset of, hey, man, show's got to go on? Because in Minnesota, it would be very easy to say, we got Kurt. He knows exactly what he's got to do. But you saw firsthand that change. I know you had to get Tommy DeVito ready to go and turned him into an internet sensation for a little bit of a while there. How has that kind of helped you here, where we're already on, to Dylan and he's playing? I thought did a very good job in his debut.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. Tommy worked very hard. Shout out to Tommy. He did that himself. I was there to help him learn offense, but he did it himself. And
you already speak like a head coach, by the way. Can I just say that? You already you got it down, man. You got it down.
I'm big on helping everybody else out. I'm not, it's a coach told me
Their
a long time ago.
Their success is your success.
Jimmy's and Joe's, not the X's and O's. I'm just here to help facilitate. But, it's something where I think it comes from my experience as a player. I played at Northwestern. I dealt with a lot of quarterback change, and understanding that, like, the only way to give that guy confidence is him knowing that I'm going to be exactly in the spot that I need to be in, and I'm going to be doing exactly what I need to be doing when he's looking to throw me the ball. And that's what I try to instill and tell the guys is, hey, doesn't matter who's throwing the ball. Now, the spin's different when it's a lefty versus a righty, but it's all about doing your job and being ready to go. So I think, being in the quarterback room, seeing how the mindset changes going from a backup to a starter, and the trust that you have to have in the guys in front of you, outside, behind you at the running back spot, that's all super important. And all that means is, do I trust them to do their job? Can I hit my back foot on a three-step drop, get the ball out on time, know where he's going to be? And I think that's all it's about.
All right, let's go back to you just dropped in. I played at Northwestern casually. All right, give us a little rundown of the Christian Jones Northwestern experience.
Yeah, I played receiver, came in at 220, tore my ACL, so I jumped up from 200 to 220, played receiver for 5 years. I tore my ACL and had a microfracture surgery going into my senior year again, so I redshirted and went from 220 to 235. So at that point, I was
now you're practically a tight. You're getting ready to be a tight end.
Yes, I was essentially playing tight end. I was already blocking linebackers before, but my history with injuries, also kind of guide me in my journey in coaching. I truly try to see the player as a person.
Yeah.
And try to guide them along in, what's going to help them as being a good teammate and in the future. So, that's really what I try to lean on when I come into football. I think, you learn that the game doesn't stop. Like, you get hurt in practice, they move it up. They're going to check on you, but they move it up and they keep going. And so the only way you can help somebody feel like they're appreciated, feel like they're valued, is to really pour yourself into them. And that's what I try to do.
That's a great mindset. And as you said, you have, unfortunately, the experience with it. We saw it, MJ Emerson right there early in training camp, one of my favorite guys on this team. And it sucks. That's one of the hard parts about this business, right, is it is a very physical business and things happen. Dwan Jones goes down and you've got to keep going, and it is a true next man up business. Now, if you had to go one-on-one with Greg Newsome, prime Christian Jones, prime Greg Newsome at Northwestern, you didn't know it was coming because I didn't know it was coming, and now here we are, and it's good fun. Have you guys discussed this? Have you guys discussed a theoretical one-on-one between
Not
you?
at all.
Does he even know you played at Northwestern?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
He does. But I coach for the Browns, so I'm going to say Greg Newsome win that rep. But my pride won't let me. So I'm going to say, Greg, you get the rep, but it'll probably be 50-50.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, what's something you want Browns fans to know about you other than that you're stewarding this tight end room with great aplomb so far through the first part of this season? What's something you want to know about you just as a person? Doesn't have to do anything with football. Anything you want them to know, so when they think, Christian Jones, tight end coach of Cleveland Browns.
I am married to Jessica Carroll. She's the athlete of the family. She went to Northwestern as well.
Okay.
She was a lacrosse player, national champion. All right. I
Congrats.
got a dog, Bucky, at home. Pit Lab mix. He's 5 years old right now, and I'm a big soccer fan. Actually, a Tottenham fan. It's going on my 13th year, actually.
So was that wild for you to walk into that stadium?
It's actually my second time playing there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't as much, emotional for me then, but it's still always great to be there, man. I haven't been in the game there yet, so to be there and play a game there and coach there is
We got to make sure you get to a game there.
Hopefully this spring. So, if you want to send this out,
Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm trying to go there.
Is that the nicest locker room in professional sports? I was blown away by it. When I walked there, I'm like, this is what we need to build right
I would
here.
say so,
It's unbelievable.
It's a really good locker room.
Yeah.
Very good locker room.
Yeah, and then they got at the top of the stage, they got the little, what's their mascot? I know they're the Spurs.
Spur.
But
Spur.
Is that what the bird is?
The cockerel.
Yeah.
That's what they call
it's
the
beautiful.
cockerel,
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it's a beautiful
It's from
thing.
the
There
old
you go.
stadium. From the old stadium, actually.
That they brought over.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Planted over, yeah.
That's really cool. So what did you think of the whole London experience?
I think it's awesome. I've been to London a few times before. I love London. I adore London. It's a great time. My wife lived in northern part of England for about a year. She went to Durham out there. So, but we visited a few times. I absolutely love it. I'm all about full English breakfast. I grew up in Texas. I'm from Houston, so I love baked beans. So you put baked beans on breakfast.
You're in.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Was she able to make it out?
She was. She was at
all
the
right,
game.
good.
Yeah, she was at the game. My mom went as well. She traveled. She went a week early. Went to Switzerland, then Paris. Like she always finds an excuse to travel.
Okay, so you've had Houston, you've had Minnesota, you've had the bright lights, big city, New York, now Cleveland. What do you think of Cleveland
I
so
love
far?
Cleveland.
You're getting the best. Let me tell you
love
something.
Cleveland.
You're getting the absolute best weather in the history of this city. So
I thought it would be 40
get too
degrees
used to
right
it.
about now.
Don't get too used to it.
Well, I drove up in February, and
Okay.
I drove straight into a snowstorm. So I got to see the worst. And,
Okay.
Coming from
Minnesota, right,
yeah,
sure.
Come from Minnesota, I can deal with it.
Yeah.
I can deal with it. So my first week in Minnesota my first day was 4 inches of snow, then it dropped down to -20.
Oof.
Then we got 4 more inches the next day, then it dropped back down. I went out to my car in my hotel I was staying in when I first got there, and there was somebody scraping the ice off my car. And I was so confused what was going on. And it turns out the guy was like, oh, it comes with the room. So I got complimentary ice scraping.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, I want to leave as soon as you said that. But it was a lesson for me, and now I'm locked in. I'm good.
Now you're locked in. Well, you also know that I think right now, currently, and at 2029 it'll be a different answer, but right now I think US Bank Stadium is the best stadium in the league. Like, I think it's awesome, and the fact that the people who designed that stadium are now designing our new stadium has me very excited.
I can see some hints of that in there. It's a beautiful looking stadium, though.
It's gonna be
the
awesome.
rendering looks fantastic. It's gonna be a great time. I'm happy for the city. I really am.
So you've had a lot of experience in domes and outdoors. What is your preference?
I like to have the option. Keep it retractable.
I like that.
If you want some sunlight, get some sunlight. You want some rain, throw them off. Get some rain in there.
I'd imagine though, you spent your time on the offensive side. Don't you like perfect conditions where everything is just perfect for your quarterback?
I don't like when it's cold. Receivers don't like when it's cold.
No, right.
Or when it rains. So you're right. Yeah, indoor.
Well, you're always open. I mean, you know what I mean? There's too much space there. You don't get anybody. Christian, great to get to meet you. It's awesome to have you on the staff. Done a great job so far. Excited to see what you guys get going. And then obviously big challenge this week with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Your first taste of Browns Steelers. That's going to be. Are you excited for that?
I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. So
I cannot wait.
What I need you to do is help us go get a win there in the regular season. So I've been here, like I said, 2013.
Yeah.
I haven't had one yet.
Okay.
So
work on that.
We're going to bring you in here. I like the confidence that you're exuding right now. We're going to work on that. Christian, thanks so much for the time.
I appreciate you having me.
All right, it was Christian Jones, Browns tight end coach, and a nice addition to the staff. I enjoyed getting a chance to talk with him. When we come back, we're going to talk with Ben Baby about the Joe Flacco trade from the Cincinnati perspective. That's when we return here on Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The Browns head to Las Vegas this November, and you can be a part of the action through Browns Takeovers, powered by True Fan Travel. Head to theclevelandbrowns.com/takeovers to book today and receive a 3-night hotel stay, opportunity to hang with Browns alumni Christian Kirksey and Kevin Mack, a ticket to the game, and an all-inclusive pregame tailgate. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/takeovers to learn more, and let's take over Vegas in 2025. Joe Flacco is looking to take over Cincinnati, and that's why we go to the hotline, the Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea Hotline, presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, the official sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted, Cleveland, and welcome in Ben Baby, the ESPN NFL Nation reporter for the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, Ben, we heard that Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, the Browns organization, they were very surprised to get the phone call from the Bengals saying we would like Joe Flacco. How surprised were you? Not so much that the Bengals wanted to get a new quarterback. I think we all saw that coming, but that it was Joe Flacco and that the Browns were willing to send him down to Cincinnati.
Yeah, obviously very surprised that Flacco was the guy. When talking to people here, it seems like there wasn't a ton of great options, especially when you look at the price it would take to get somebody who's essentially going to be a rental for one season, if you can get him through the whole season. I think that's the big question. And then when they looked at it, they liked what Flacco had, a lot of arm power, a guy who's played a lot of football, who understands basically anything you could possibly ask him to do. And to get him up to speed quickly in this offense going into Sunday, I think was important. And so, I asked Zach Taylor kind of how it happened, and it sounded like Duke Tobin, their de facto general manager, was the one who spearheaded this decision to go out and get Joe. He ran it by Zach, and Zach gave his approval. And then, the next thing Zach found out was that, hey, the trigger had been pulled, and they went ahead and made the decision to trade for Flacco. And so that's why he was here wearing number 16 at a Bengals practice. So definitely a strange turn of events, but ultimately one that had to be done given how the offense has looked.
Yeah, and people are saying, well, why would they think they could go with Jake Browning? But you go back a couple of years ago when he had to step in, and he played just fine, 70% completions, looked good. What changed? What happened?
It's interesting because, I give Jake a ton of credit. He talked to reporters today, for the first time after being benched. He had some words on his feelings that we can't say on radio, but, he's been taking this, I think he's been very realistic about how this is when he took his share of the blame for, the bad football that he had played, the amount of turnovers. It was interesting, though. I asked him kind of any differences in the offense. He didn't really want to get into it a ton. He did kind of allude to, he understood his part, but there were other factors as well that were played a part in the situation. So I thought that was an interesting comment when you look at it. There are some schematic differences between this time and last time when he came in for Burrow, when he was injured. But, the main thing in talking to Dan Pitcher, the Bengals offensive coordinator, is that it seemed like the confidence and rhythm that he had in 2023, it just wasn't there this year. And I think that has got to be the bigger concern. You want a quarterback who's in the right headspace. I think it's clear right now, just not necessarily where Browning is at. He said he tried to go out and make some plays, resulted in some interceptions. And so now that's why they had to make a change.
Well, you're getting Joe Flacco, a guy who certainly can make plays, but interceptions have been his issue too, even in the best of times in late 2023. How do they expect, because he's not the most mobile guy, how do they expect to protect him? Because I know that's been a big issue so far this season. But if you give him time, he's going to get the ball to Chase and Higgins and Yoshavash, and I think they're going to have a great time with him throwing them the ball.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a whole lot of the receivers are down there somewhere. I mean, I went back and watched that 2023 tape, and Joe will push some windows that you probably should not be pushing. Try to squeeze a ball into there, and sometimes that goes great. Sometimes on a first down late in the game, it'll end up in an interception. So I'm very curious to see how that looks. Protection plan, I think they're going to have to figure that out. It hasn't been great this year with a more mobile quarterback, and I think that's something that isn't being talked about enough, is that Browning had at least some mobility to be able to when things would happen. I think they're hoping that they can get the ball out quickly and that you're able to go out and take advantage of some quick game and then see what your spots are and get some one-on-ones, hopefully, with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Zach Taylor did note the arm strength that Flacco has allows you to wait a little bit longer. And I think that's something that's a big benefit, even compared to Joe Burrow, who throws with great anticipation. As Zach said, Flacco's got the arm strength that you can try to maybe push the ball a little bit downfield. So that's a very interesting, situation that they're going to be in. But like you said, they're going to have to protect him because even this year, you see the numbers, especially against the blitz, it does not go well. So they're going to have to find ways to put him in good situations to succeed.
What should be the realistic expectations for this team? They can't run the ball, and I don't know if that's just because Joe Burrow's been gone, but they've struggled to run it. They've not been particularly good on D. What are the realistic expectations, and is the trade for Joe Flacco with the hope that he can get them, into the playoffs?
I think the best case scenario is that you get somebody who kind of changes the momentum of how things are looking offensively. He's able to make the plays that are presented, get the ball out quickly, find the right looks, find the right reads, and then take your shots downfield. It's enough to get this offense better. I mean, just about anything is better than what this offense has done, or especially early in these last 3 games. So I think that is the hope. Realistically, is that possible? I don't know. I mean, he was benched in Cleveland for a reason. His total QBR is actually worse than Jake Browning's, all things considered. And now Jake's does get padded a little bit by the late game barrage against the Detroit Lions. But, I think it's a very fair question. I think they're going to try to hope and see if they can get some wins. And I don't, this week might end up being a wash. It's really on the 5-game stretch where you play the Steelers twice, you have the Jets, the Bears, and the Patriots. If you can stack some wins there, now all of a sudden you're going to be back over 500, and Joe Burrow's timeline to get back gets a little bit closer. So I think that ideally is the best case scenario. Whether Flacco's good enough to deal with that or not, that remains to be seen. Now, I will say, since this is a Browns broadcast here, I'm going to be honest, I love this trade for the Cleveland Browns. I think that Andrew Berry and the Browns are a big winner in this. They take advantage of being able to move up into the 5th. And when you look at what they're doing this year, I think if you're a Browns fan, you've got to be thrilled at this. You get an additional draft pick. You get a full runway on the young quarterbacks that you have. And if this year doesn't go the way, you want it to in terms of wins, you're able to evaluate and really take advantage of 2026 and really be in a good position to compete at a high level moving forward if they can continue to draft well.
Yeah, that certainly is the hope here. And we've seen Andrew Berry use 5th-round picks to get Jerry Jeudy and Amari Cooper in the past. So getting one of those is certainly not a bad deal at all. Ben, thank you so much for the time. Joe Flacco, chance to beat the Green Bay Packers twice in 6 weeks with 2 different teams is kind of crazy. So at least he knows their defense. He knows that well and should be able to get up to speed quickly, but that'll be a fun one to watch. Ben, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you all.
All right, Ben Baby, ESPN NFL Nation reporter for the Cincinnati Bengals, just joined us via the Twisted Tea hotline presented by Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea, official sponsor of the Cleveland Browns. Keep it twisted. Cleveland, want to remind you that OBM is the preferred provider of copiers and document services for the Cleveland Browns, who can tackle any size office. Call 216-485-2000 or visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. When we come back, we're going to guess the lines, baby. Yes. I got it done last week. We've just made it. We're floating above. Last week was a little bit tougher. We got the new rules here. We're at 5-0. Can we get to 6-0? Find out when we return here on Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet. Score big with Howard Hanna, the official real estate partner of the Cleveland Browns, is Northeast Ohio's #1 real estate provider. They're dedicated to helping you make the best move. Visit howardhanna.com/GoBrowns to explore your winning options today. Time to guess the scores for Week 6 of the NFL season.
Hi. Also a reminder, Browns preview show tonight, 7 to 8 on the University Hospitals Cleveland Browns radio network. Aiden Huntington and Andrew Siciliano join Carmen and Cherry.
Let's go.
So we've got that as well, but right now there's always time.
Yep.
You demanded it. I tried
did
to
demand
deliver.
it. You tried to get rid of it.
And rightfully so.
People love it.
I know. We had to fit it in.
And then you attacked me.
I mean, it's such a trivial word. And the two of you both smirk it. Like he's smirking, you smirk at each other through a wall.
G-Man, because G-Man knows. We know. Now you're out. Now you have like a real-time fact checker in there to keep you honest. And I don't think you like that. Just like when the internet was invented and I could check my father in real time, be like, actually, that's not true, Dad. He didn't like that.
You can check. I'll tell you when I'm wrong. I'll lead it off with, I'm wrong, but I'm still going to die on the hill.
Yes, you will.
There you go.
Wednesday night taped.
Week 6 in the NFL. Time to guess the scores. Thursday night football. Not really looking forward to this one, although Thursdays are weird. Eagles on the road. I guess there was some player-only meeting going on with them. Eagles at G-Men with Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Harta.
Definitely a little trouble in paradise here, but I think the Eagles are just fine. Yeah. Eagles minus 7.5.
Boy, 6.5. Under the old rules, you got it. New rules, not so fast, my friend. London, Sunday morning. Again, they're at Twickenham. There's a team arriving today.
They're at Tottenham.
Tottenham, not Twickenham. Sorry.
Yep.
Tried to get out of my
They're
head
staying where we stayed?
Possible. Yeah. I think it's the Broncos.
The Denver Broncos.
Broncos taking on the Jets, the winless Jets. Rich Eisen, Kurt Warner, Sarah Walsh on the call. Sarah Walsh was there this past Sunday. Long time in London.
Broncos minus 7.
Minus 7.5. There you go.
There we go.
1-1 so far. To the 1 o'clock slate. Cardinals visiting Indianapolis. Game's on Fox with Kevin Kugler, Moose, and Allison Williams.
Colts are one of the best teams in the league. Colts minus 7.5.
Colts minus 6.5.
I mean, I should be 3-0 right now.
Hate to see it.
Just 6.5.
No,
Kyler Murray's not even playing.
What's that?
Is Kyler Murray not playing?
I don't know.
Crazy.
G-Man's fantasy league's going crazy because someone is trading for quarterbacks to replace Kyler, so I don't know.
All right, let's go.
In the 1 o'clock slate, Los Angeles, the Chargers on the road visiting South Beach and the Miami Dolphins. Andrew Catalan, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, A.J. Ross.
Chargers minus 5.
He's so disappointed in you. You disappoint him so badly.
I'm sorry. Don't worry, G-Man. We got a long way to go.
Chargers minus 3.5. I don't know. I mean, I guess going across country maybe.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have an answer for that one. Patriots in the Big Easy taking on the Saints. Patriots. Will there be a letdown? Spiro Adidas, Adam Archuleta, Aditi Kinkawala.
Patriots minus 3.5.
Right on it.
Smile, G-Man.
You know, you got a Tiger Woods fist bump.
There we go,
there.
baby.
I mean,
can we get a G-Man cam while this is going on?
That is something I've discussed as well. Getting a camera for the entire group here.
Yeah.
And additional mics. Maybe in the new studio. Browns visiting the land that smells like hot dog water.
You love Pittsburgh. You're Pittsburgh Peapod. You can't wait to get
Browns
those nachos.
At Squealers. I don't. Maybe there's other people in this room that do, though.
Not me. Steelers minus 5.5.
Steelers minus 6.5.
Did that change today?
He said yes. G-Man's the one who made the sheet. Ian Eagle,
G-Man,
by the
what?
way. J.J. Watt, Evan Washburn.
Man.
Looking forward to seeing our guys on Sunday.
This is
I think
tough.
Ian will join us for pregame.
That was the one that comes on my notes. So, like, I usually am pretty good with ours because
It's a
I've seen it.
developing situation.
Well, it's hurtful when...
By developing, I mean, whoo, you are not off to a great start.
This is tough. This is a tough scene right now. Okay.
We continue with the 1 o'clock slate. Dallas
2 and 4
on the road visiting Carolina. Adam Amin, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver.
Dallas minus 3.5.
Right on it. There you go. Welcome back. What are we? 3 and 4? Yeah. Next up, the Jags. Any hangover from that big Monday Night Football win? Jags hosting the frisky Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks at Jags. Chris Myers, TBD, because that was supposed to be Mark Sanchez, and Christina Pink.
I think because the Jags won on Monday night, they're going to be favored. I think the Seahawks should be favored, so I'm going to go Jags minus 1.5.
Right on it.
Let's go. 4 and 4. We're back, G-Man.
Oh, we're back. 3 out of 4. He exhales.
He's passionate, and I appreciate
pathetic.
it. No, he's not.
Rounding out the 1 o'clock.
Don't listen to that,
show.
G-Man.
Oh, I'm going down that road.
Don't listen to that.
Los Angeles, the Rams. Boy, both LA teams visiting the East Coast. Rams at Ravens. Burkhardt, Brady, Andrews, Rinaldi. I think Fox has the early main game because they have MLB later in the day. But Rams visiting Baltimore.
This shouldn't be the main game. I don't even know what should be the main game of 1 o'clock, honestly. Seahawks-Jags should be the main game.
It's not.
Well, the Ravens are garbage now. Rams minus... Is it 7 or is it 10? Is it 7 or is it 10? Rams minus 7.
Rams minus 8.5. That's a big score.
Well, I said is it
on
7
the road
or 10?
in Baltimore, Baltimore's not going to give that
trash.
same effort twice. I'm just throwing it out there.
They're terrible.
Sunday, the 4 o'clock slate. Titans at Raiders. Tennessee visiting Vegas. Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, Megan O'Leary. They get a break from our game, and they get the Raiders and the Titans.
Raiders minus 4.
Raiders minus 4.5.
All right, 5-5. Got to break through. Got to break through. Got to break
There
through.
you go. 4 o'clock slate continues. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, Melanie Collins, Bengals, and Joe Flacco visiting Green Bay. Joe Flacco's last NFL win, the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay minus 14.
Minus 14.5.
Let's
That
go.
is a big score.
That's a big score. I like the Bengals on that one.
This is America's game of the week.
Yes, this is
Nance Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Niners at Tampa Bay.
We don't even know who's playing for the Niners at this point. Doesn't matter. Bucks are
Looks
gonna
like Brock Purdy practiced today.
Bucks minus 4.
Bucks minus 2.5.
Wow.
A lot of love to the Niners.
I didn't see that coming. All right, got to go 2-1 here.
2-1. You got 3 games to
Yeah.
go, all in prime time. Sunday night football. Yeah, you'll wait up all day for this one. Leons visiting Arrowhead and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs minus 3.
Chiefs minus 2.5. Got to go 1-1 here. Hey, we're back to another doubleheader on Monday night, or simulcast. Sure, whatever this is that they.
Yeah, I
keep
like
trotting
this though.
out. The first one, actually, both of them, not too shabby.
Not bad.
Buffalo visiting Atlanta. Chris Fowler, Orlovsky, Riddick, Kate George, Peter Schrager. G-Man will make an appearance. Someone else in section 132.
Bills minus 5.
Bills minus 4.5.
Let's go, baby. G-Man, start celebrating.
So happy.
6-0.
He's so happy.
6-0.
You made the man happy.
Yeah. All right, Bears at Commanders.
Bears at Commies to wrap it up with
Commanders minus 3.5.
Well, luckily you got the first two right. Commies minus 4.5.
I act like I was so far. I didn't miss a single one by more than a point. Not a single one. Wait, one of them.
There was one. It was
Rams-Ravens, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, winning week. There we go. 6-0. 6-0.
Not too shabby, buddy.
Not
too
too
shabby. We got it, and we
at
still
all.
have a few minutes.
Yeah. Well, am I talking now for minutes?
Yeah.
There's no commercial?
No. I can give you the active injury report.
Please
I know
do
how to
give
say it. Maybe if my phone cooperates.
Well, I'll do it. For the Browns, Joel Bitonio, he was limited, not injury-related rest. Malachi Corley, groin, limited. Malik Collins, not injury-related rest, limited. Grant Delpit, full ankle. Myles Garrett, limited ankle. Mike Hall, limited knee. Shelby Harris, DNP, not injury-related rest, but also knee. I don't know how can you put that? It's either not injury-related rest or he's got a knee injury. KT Leviston, limited with a calf. Greg Newsome, limited with a hamstring. David Njoku, full with a knee. Ethan Posick, limited neck. Denzel Ward, limited with a hip injury. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, Calvin Austin does not practice, the wide receiver, third leading receiver, shoulder. Cam Hayward, limited, not injury-related rest. Alex Highsmith, limited, so could be back. He's missed the last couple of games, limited with an ankle. Joey Porter Jr., full, so he should be making his return. Hamstring. Jalen Ramsey, though, did not practice with the hamstring. Something to keep an eye on. Ben Skowronek, limited with an illness. Darius Slay, not injury-related rest, did not practice. Jaylen Warren will be back. Knee full, and TJ Watt, not injury-related rest, did not practice. So the ones to pay attention on their side would be Jalen Ramsey, and Calvin Austin. On our side, I don't think there's really much concern right now going into this game.
Shelby was the only one not out on the field when the session was open to the media.
Yeah.
So, that's for week 6 so far. Not too shabby. And for those of you that are on backup quarterback watch for the Cleveland Browns, from Daniel Oyefusi at ESPN, local media not permitted to film QBs throwing to pass catchers during viewing period. Dylan Gabriel was on one side of the field throwing to starters and active roster players in individual drills like usual. Typically, the backup QB has thrown alongside the starter. Shador and Bailey Zappi were on the other side of the field throwing to practice squad players like usual.
1 minute.
So the Browns not tipping their hand in the portion of practice open to the media.
All right. There you have it. Appreciate it, Gibbe. Thank Ben Baby for joining the program.
G-Man was perfect. J-Mac did a great job turning that interview around.
Legends. Yeah, we want to thank Christian Jones, our tight end coach, as well, for joining the program for the first time. Enjoy these beautiful days while they last, folks. ESPN Radio is up next. Thanks for listening to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet on 850 ESPN Cleveland.